All right, here we go. Episode 203 with Tenille Arts. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Get on
All
up
right.
there. There you go. Pretty good. I was looking at your Instagram. You have a lot of followers.
I do.
Where did that? What's the deal? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I mean, I've been on social media for a really long time and on YouTube, and yeah, I've just been like really trying to keep up the online presence.
I was doing a little deep dive about you, and I had seen that you were on The Bachelor twice, not as
Yeah.
a contestant. Although that'd be a good story too. But you played twice. How do you land getting on The Bachelor to play?
Well, my manager had been sending my music into them for a really long time, and they just came across some of my music that they loved. The first song was called Moment of Weakness, and it pretty much sounded like we had written it for the show. So it worked out really well, and I performed on a one-on-one date.
Do you remember who it was?
It was Ari and Chelsea.
Okay, so Mike, do you know who Ari is?
I do.
Okay, help me out.
Good looking dude. I think he has like kind of grayish hair, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. Okay, so I got it. And that was the season. I don't really watch the show. I don't hate people that do, by the way. Don't get mad at me, Bachelor Nation. He's the one that was like he broke up with the girl at the end of the season. Like,
Yeah,
on
he
camera?
picked someone and then broke up with her
Yeah.
and then picked the like second place girl. I guess.
Nah, that I can admire. Anyone that kind of is not status quo on that show, I like. Okay, so you play for him and Chelsea. Did they stay together?
No.
Was it your song? Was that the reason they didn't stay together?
I hope not. No. She left. She had a kid, so she wanted to.
She had a
get
kid on
back.
the show as they were dancing.
Not on the
Oh,
not on
oh.
the show, but I think she wanted to get back to her son, so I think she ended up leaving the show.
So tell me what that's like then playing. Do you have to play it over and over and over again for the cameras?
Yeah, we play it a few times. It's like definitely a surprise for the girl. I think the Bachelor knows that this is going down because I think he has like a hand in picking the dates. But the girl was completely surprised when she walked in, and we played the song a couple of times for them to get their shots and everything. But then we play it again multiple times, and for me,
that makes sense. So they can shoot you.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they can get close-ups and stuff. But it was really awkward because nobody told me if I should look at the cameras or not. So I just found myself staring at the couple dancing and making out, and it was so awkward. I did not know what to do. It was, yeah, that was that. But
So let me hear some of this moment of weakness, and I'm gonna imagine a couple dancing, right? All right, here we go. That is quite the Bachelor song,
yeah,
because you're basically begging them to make out right there.
yeah.
You're playing the song, like, all right,
Exactly.
have your moment of weakness right here on camera so
Yep.
we can document it.
Mhm.
Okay, so you go on the show, and I would imagine, because I've had some friends go on that show and play, there's a nice pop with your music the day after it airs.
Oh yeah,
So that was pretty cool, right?
that was really cool. That had a huge part to do with my social media and just my music getting out there in general.
So, but then you go back again.
Yeah.
So then they're like, hey, you riveted our couple so much, we want you to bring that back for another couple. Is that what happened the next time?
I don't know. They're just like they became a fan of my music and they wanted to help me out as a new artist. And I think it's really cool and kind of unexpected to be a part of something like The Bachelor. Like you wouldn't think that's a great way to promote your music, but it kind of is. I mean, there's a lot of people that watch that show and it's like the perfect age for my music. So they asked me to come back.
So you go back and then you play for.
This one was Colton and Elise.
Okay. Now, if I remember, they're not together.
No.
You're 0 for 2. I'm just
know.
telling you, your success rate on this show is not
Hey.
good for the couple staying together.
I've played really early on in the show, so I feel like, you never know what's going to happen at that point.
So Colton and Elise,
Mhm.
and what are they doing?
Like
Eating?
on the date. Oh,
Dancing?
Yeah, it was in a big theater in LA, so there was actually an audience there. of
Okay, so a
people.
little more natural.
Way more natural
Okay.
this time.
So
Yeah.
you're playing in a theater, and how does that? And pardon me for not knowing this. How do they set that up? Do they fake like they're walking in on a show, or they're both big Tenille Arts fans?
Yeah, sometimes they do it like that.
Not that
but
they be faking it, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I do a lot of TV too, and we fake a lot of stuff. Not originally, but in order to redo it again and again and again, we have to sometimes go. All right, let's shoot this again.
Yeah.
So they walk in and like, oh yeah, we're big fans of Tenille Arts. Let's go. Is that what it was?
Yeah, basically. That's what happened. It was like a surprise for the girl and everything. But she ended up messaging me like right after that episode and was like, I'm gonna remember that night forever. I love your music. So she definitely like dove into my music after that.
And so and then there you have it.
Yeah.
You need one more though. You got to get on a successful. You got to get on a couple that stays together.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
I'll try.
Right now you're the Clayton Kershaw
Oh.
of The Bachelor. It's just not working out for you so far.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. They brought you back. And what song did you do there?
Well, it ended up being a song called "I Hate This," which was a breakup song. Which
I see you predicted what was going to
Yeah,
happen.
kinda.
I do like that song. I hate the song. I've programmed into the Women of iHeart Country show. This is a good one.
Thank
Not that the other one wasn't. I just had never heard it.
Mhm.
I like this one a lot.
Bottom line is I still love you and I hate this.
When you hear your own music, do you kind of bob your head and do you like listening to your own music?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean-
when we played that, I felt like you kind of felt that a little bit.
Yeah, I immediately started thinking about when I like wrote it and who it's about, and yeah, I go there every time.
So you wrote that as okay, good. It's a perfect segue into this. We have a lot of songwriters that come on the show,
Mhm.
which you are obviously.
Yeah.
And they talk about songs. So let's talk about this song specifically. How long ago did you write it?
Would have been like a year and a half ago.
Oh, still pretty fresh.
Yeah, pretty new. And it's funny because when I had originally written it, I wasn't going through a breakup or anything. Like I was kind of imagining what that would be like and everything. And then I went through a breakup. And that song, it was so hard to go out and sing that song at every show.
So a song that you didn't write about your breakup ended up being hard to sing because later on you went through a breakup.
Yeah.
That's kind of a Mike. We've never heard a story like that, right?
I know.
Like they write a song and then it comes back into their life
It's
about
usually
their life.
The breakup, and then it's hard to sing about that, but
Yeah.
not the other way around.
Like
Yeah.
Carly, when she would come in, she was like, "Yeah, I wrote every little thing, and I would play it and think about the breakup every time." But you didn't break up with the song; it just came back to haunt you later.
It did.
Huh? Interesting. So you write the song, and did you write it about the boyfriend you had at the time? And at least, like, did you predict? That's what it was.
Yeah,
You were
I
predicting the
mean-
breakup, weren't you?
It wasn't that far
Mhm.
before we ended up breaking up, so I think that I had a little bit of that in my mind, but I always try to like take from personal experiences or try to imagine what it would be like if I was going through that.
You wrote this with a guy named Adam Wheeler.
Yeah.
So you guys hop in a room together,
Hmm.
and how does that work with you? You go, "Hey, I got this idea. I'm probably gonna break up with this dude." Like, how does that work?
I didn't say that.
Okay, go
but,
ahead.
Yeah, no, it was. I had written a lot with him around that same like time period, so we knew what was going on in each other's lives, and he knew that things were like a little bit rocky in my relationship, and he had talked about some of his past relationships, and we really just kind of dove into it. And the song, it's weird because the song isn't really about like a breakup. It's about that time period right after you break up where you don't know if you're going to end up getting back together or if you're just going to actually stay broken up. Because I feel like there's a little bit of hope during that time where you still love that person and you still think maybe, something might work out. But then, eventually you have to deal with the fact that, okay, maybe it really is over.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Away from music. Like most times, let's do a little public service announcement. It doesn't work out. If you're going to break up, it doesn't work
I
out.
know.
I'll tell you from my experience. You feel like, it might work out. Let's give it another try. But I'm going to say probably like 93% of the time. If you break up and you're like, maybe we should give it a try because it could, it's not going
Yeah,
to.
because I think once you break up, you think that those things will maybe like work themselves out, and then when you get back together, it'll just be like a fresh start. But it's not. There's still like all of those things all of those issues, I guess, that you had before.
You know what you should do? This is maybe a lesson for you. You're a little bit younger than I am, or anyone watching this or listening to this. If you're struggling in your relationship and you don't know really what to do to make it work, have a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't you say that's a good one, Mike?
That's great advice.
Yeah. Just have a baby.
No.
Then you're stuck, and you have to make it work.
Fixes
Yeah.
every problem.
Yeah, I would say fixes all the problems. You don't agree with that?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Why don't we do Somebody Like That, which is this is the single now?
It is.
Okay. Here is Somebody Like That.
Keep the fire burning like the first time feeling. No matter what it's, I'm gonna love somebody like that.
All right, tell me about this one.
All right. Well, I wrote this one after writing a ton of breakup songs. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done writing these breakup songs. I want to start looking for somebody again. I want to, start putting myself out there. So I got in the writing room with Alex Klein and Allison Veltz, and we were just kind of reflecting on relationships that we had seen go really well. Like looking at our parents, looking at our grandparents, just kind of those relationships that we idolized as kids and looked up to. And I have a lot of great relationships in my life, and I feel like we just looked back on, maybe love that we had, or love that went really well, love that went bad, and just kind of looking for the right kind of love this time and not settling until we find it.
And how long ago did you write this song?
This one would have been about 6 months ago.
And did you predict the future? Much like you predicted the demise of The Bachelor, you make this song, and did somebody like that come along?
They
You
did.
predicted the future.
I
See?
predicted the future.
That's what you need to do. You need to write more song predicting
Exactly.
for predicting future songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what my therapist says. You gotta like see the good stuff that's gonna happen
Yeah.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then I do, and it never happens. So then I start seeing the bad stuff again.
No.
You have an accent, which is interesting.
I?
Yeah,
What
a bit of a
kind?
not so much of a Canadian one.
Oh.
A little bit. I dated a Canadian girl for a long time, so I'm very experienced with the Canadian talk and
Mhm.
your little hybrid English, French, A type
Yeah.
language. But it's just a little country accent
Oh,
to you
really?
too. Yeah. So what? Tell me about like a town you grew up in.
I grew up in a really small town in Saskatchewan in Canada, and my dad's a wheat farmer, so we grew up like in the small town, but then we also had the family farm. So I spent a lot of time out there. And
You guys
in
a
town.
wheat farmer, huh?
Yeah.
What does that entail day to day?
I mean, for us being in Canada, there's like a very short
Yeah,
season.
like a week, right? Where it's warm enough
Yeah.
to grow anything.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much starts like end of May, June, and harvest time is like September, October.
So is it like snow vacation the all rest of the year as a wheat farmer?
Well, my dad had another job that he worked that whole time as well. But yeah, I guess for most people, or they've got like cattle or something, but we don't. It's
A
just
wheat farmer in Canada.
Hmm.
I didn't think about that. Like when I flew into Toronto, which by the way, I don't know what's in the water up there, but you guys are way too nice. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it. But even with my ex-girlfriend, she's way too nice. And I will be like, why are you being so nice to me all the time? But it was just a natural. It was just like in you guys' blood. And I didn't really realize that until I went to Toronto. And people would just like stop on the road and talk to me. And this is Toronto too, which is very metropolitan, by the
Yeah.
way. Really close to New York, and you would think would be a little different than Saskatchewan or Vancouver or a lot of these other places that I was familiar with. But people were just like, hey, sir. And I'd be like, what's up? Would you like $1? Not asking for the homeless people were offering me money in Canada. It was so different than here in the States where they're like, can I get $1? They were like, sir, I don't have much, but why don't you have my last dollar? You Canadians are nuts, man. It's awesome. So what was my point with all that, Mike?
The
feel like
Canadians are really nice.
Yeah, I feel like I was onto something there. But so your dad, but my point is I was flying in and I would see golf courses in Canada. And I was like, what week do you get to play golf here?
Yeah,
It's
I
so
know.
cold all the time.
it is cold.
And so your dad, do you have tractors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how big was this wheat farm?
People always ask me this, and I always forget to ask him how big it is. But I mean, we've got a lot of land.
Do we need to call your dad
We
and ask him?
might have to, because
We have a phone connected right there. We can call
Okay.
your dad. And
Okay.
Do we want to get your dad on the phone?
I mean,
I'll call him.
okay.
Tenille, don't press me. Hey, Mike, can you call her dad?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to call her dad and see if he'll even just answer the phone. All
I
right.
don't know.
What's he doing? What is today? Today's,
Yeah, they're trying to harvest right now, but it just
he's
snowed.
going to get interrupted by a phone call and
Yeah.
his daughter. Has your dad ever been in an interview before?
No.
Okay. It's first.
Okay.
This is going to be, are you nervous?
Yeah.
We're going to plug the phone up. We have this phone here, Tenille, and so sometimes we'll do phone interviews if people are in Los Angeles. Are you freaked out about your dad being on?
Well, I'm just like, he never answers his phone, so we might go through all of this
Well,
for
we-
nothing.
That's all right. We didn't say we didn't try, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And Mike, this phone
It'll
rings
ring.
all the. Because this is my house.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're a dog barking and you're listening to this, it's because I have a bulldog puppy and I put him away for this interview. But I can hear him barking down. Do you hear him barking?
Bring him out.
No, he does
Bring
this
him
all the
out.
time.
Bring him out. But he's so cute.
That's all he does. And so this phone, as soon as we bought the line to start calling people, it rings. It'll be 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, is it just like random?
It's like people's trying to sell me stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it would be like Jana Kramer, who we call on it. They're like, "What up?" No, it's some people trying to sell me stuff.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right, you want her to just show you the number
Yeah.
off the
Okay.
camera? All right.
Let's see.
By the way, everyone listening right now, as we look at this, follow Tenille on Instagram, Tenille Arts. Tenille Arts. That is her name there. Do we have a dial tone, Mike?
We do.
All right. Let's see if we. And what is his name?
Kevin.
Will Kevin know that an unnamed Nashville phone number is probably specific to you?
Maybe.
Okay. Because
Um.
I never would answer a call if I didn't know who it was. ever.
Yeah. I mean, well, he's just like he'll leave his phone.
Does he have any
lot of
idea who Bobby
places.
Bones is at all?
I was just talking to him last night, and I
Great.
was like, I'm doing this show.
Okay. I don't hear anything, but
You have reached three.
okay.
Oh.
So
Not answer.
text him
Okay.
and say, hey, we're trying to call you. Can you answer the call here?
'Kay.
All right. Let me read you a little bit about Tenille as she does this here. Let's see. She won 5 of the Saskatchewan Country Music Association Awards for all which you were nominated. Okay. Mike, do you still have his number?
I don't.
Okay. He needs the phone again.
Okay.
What we're doing is really hacking your phone. This is a
Yeah.
trick. What's a trick we do with everyone? So maybe he'll see that. All right, we're gonna keep going, Mike. I guess we have to hear it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. We're good. So tell me, you're on Reviver Records.
Yeah.
How long you been? When'd you get that deal?
About a year and a half ago.
And so, how did they get on to you to sign you?
It was actually it had a lot to do with The Bachelor. I performed on
You did
the
that without a
show.
label.
The first time I
Yeah.
performed, it was completely without a label, and we were having like a viewing party for the episode here in Nashville, and we had Gator from Reviver Records come out to the show because I played like a little set before the episode aired, and it was pretty instant. Like I met with him and the whole team, and I was just like, this feels like a perfect place for me.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
Wow. And so then you become a millionaire as soon as you get signed.
yeah, of course. That's how that works.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And you're just loaded.
Yeah,
Mike,
no.
if we don't get him this time, we'll just give it a rest for a bit.
Okay.
No luck.
No luck.
Okay, that's all right. We're still gonna get him. He's gonna text her
It's
in a little
okay,
bit.
Dad.
He maybe listen. Will he listen to this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. He loves to listen to like I'll be home and I'll hear him watching and listening to my YouTube videos. I'm like, Dad, I'm right here.
Super supportive dad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about your mom? They still together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what does she do?
She used to work as a lab tech in the hospital, but she was a stay-at-home mom for my entire life.
A lab tech, like needles?
Yeah.
Mm. You know, I had a
Mhm.
cousin once who was training to be a lab tech. And she said, hey, I need to borrow you for needle practice.
Oof.
And I was like, well, first of all, that's not going to happen. I don't do needles very well. Then she was like, I need to do needles in your knuckles. Because apparently they have to learn if they can't get it from your arm, they have to draw it from your knuckles.
Oh, no.
And so I didn't let her do it, obviously. But I didn't know you could draw a needle from knuckles.
Me either.
Did your mom draw blood from people?
She did. Yeah.
If you were sick, could she help you? Like
Oh,
by
yeah.
giving you IVs or medicine?
She never did any of that stuff, but I mean, she had medical knowledge, so she would help
Sure.
us out as much as she could.
All right, so you moved to the States when?
4 years ago.
You've only been here 4 years?
Yeah.
So, okay, so do you do the whole Canada thing first where you like, I'm going to be a star in Canada?
Not really. I mean, I was a little bit involved in like the Canadian country music industry up there. And they had a really cool program that I was a part of that was like the Discovery program where they help you out, give you the connections and everything. But I always knew that I wanted to be in Nashville. I made my first trip. It's almost exactly 10 years ago when I first came here to, write and get involved and everything. So I always had my sights set on Nashville. And so I didn't spend a ton of time focusing on the Canadian scene.
So what was it for you that made you go, oh, I got to move down there?
I think I had just seen so many people. It's just such a community. Like Canada's so spread out. I wish they had a place that everybody could go and write with each other because there's nothing. I mean, everybody's so spread out. So I knew that Nashville was just such a community. I knew that some of my favorite songwriters, some of my favorite artists, that's what they did. Once they could, they moved to Nashville and they made their connections and they just started building it from the ground up. And that's what I wanted to do.
So you tell your parents what?
Well, the first time I actually came down, I was 14 or 15, and I had just been putting up YouTube videos and stuff, and a manager called our house, and he was like, hey, I want to bring you to Nashville, and I want to see if, you work well with this girl, because he was proposing me to be in this duo.
Oh, so wait, you got Justin Bieber a little bit. They see you on
A
YouTube.
little bit.
As a kid,
Mhm.
someone sees you on YouTube and says, let's do it.
Yeah.
I bet that would be creepy to me, though. I'll be like, really, what's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was super skeptical about it. My mom was excited because I was excited. But yeah, it was definitely kind of like well, let's just go see what happens. Like, let's
Oh,
be
good for
safe about
them.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's go see what happens. And it was, so they always knew that that's where I wanted to go. So they were supportive of it. And when I moved, they were like, oh yeah, go for it.
So what happened with that duo?
It just didn't work out. Our music ideas were so different. And it was kind of like a Maddie and Tay thing before, like pretty much right before Maddie and Tay.
So, well, who was the girl? Is she around?
I think she's still in
Miranda
the
Lambert, say it.
no.
Yeah, we thought so.
No.
She's still in town?
I don't think so. I think she went to college somewhere.
You guys hated each other, huh?
We didn't get along.
Oh, I was just kidding, but wow,
no.
good for you.
Yeah, we didn't get along.
Oh, Mike and I don't get along.
Yeah.
No, we just kind of sit over here and okay, so you come and you go, okay, well, Nashville's where I want to be. So you go back home
Yeah,
and do you finish school?
I did. I finished high school.
Okay, and then you go, as soon as I'm done, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And so when did you actually pack up and move down?
I stayed for just like a couple of years, just saving up. I still lived with my parents and everything. And I was 21 when I moved down. First time I had ever lived on my own. Got a 1-bedroom apartment, the whole thing.
Who moved with you?
My mom.
In a what? Tell me the story. You get in a U-Haul? Did you get
Yeah.
a truck with a trailer?
We did the drive twice. The first time we took her car and just loaded it up and drove as much as we could down just to get moved in. And then I ended up driving back again. I can't really remember why that happened, but I have like a little yellow Pontiac G5 from when I was like 16, and we loaded that thing up, and I still have that car. We drove it all the way down here, and my mom stayed for like about a week to just get me settled, and then she hopped on a plane and left me by myself.
What's the drive?
Full 25 hours of driving. So
Wow.
it took us about 2 days.
Do you still have that car? That you
I
said?
do.
Do you still drive that car?
Uh-huh.
I look at you.
Yeah.
With this millionaire record deal, you should have like
yeah, exactly.
a Mercedes. You know, talk about that for a second because that is quite the misconception. Because you sign a record, and listen, when I signed my record deal, I actually think I went in the hole. I think I lost money. And people think when you sign a deal that it's just like a whole bunch of money given to you. You're a bit different than I am. You're better. Tell me what happens when you sign a deal.
Well, for me, my deal was pretty unique because my publisher, so I had been living off of, being a songwriter and
So you signed a publishing deal
I
first.
signed a publishing deal first. And about halfway through that first year, my publisher was like, we should record this stuff on you. He knew that I wanted to be an artist. And so he really started just helping me out with all of that stuff, which was really, really cool. And I ended up signing he created a label, I guess, for me to release music. And so when I ended up signing with Reviver, like that all still kind of stayed together. So not much really changed for me other than having, all of the label and everything. But yeah, no, it's not like you're just like handed a bunch of money and been like, yay, you're a signed artist now.
Mostly they go, we're going to pay for you to do things.
Mhm.
And even then you got to pay us back.
Yeah.
That's really,
Yeah.
unless you're a major artist switching labels and they're
Mhm.
trying to woo you, they're going, okay, we're now going to pay for you to make a record and we're going to pay for you to travel and do what they call radio tour, but you will pay us back
Yeah.
or we will drop you. One of the two things will happen.
Mhm.
And so sounds amazing, doesn't it? But it is
Yeah.
cool to actually get a deal because they're actually supporting you to go out and try all this stuff.
It is. And I mean, without that, it'd be really, really hard to do all of those things if you didn't have that support.
What'd you put on YouTube? What song?
Like the one that I got.
Yeah, the one that
discovered.
there's always a video.
It was 15 by Taylor Swift, and I was 15 singing it. So that's what got me here.
And when they called, they asked for you. How did they get your number?
That's the whole thing that I still have not figured out. I don't know how they found me, but I mean, I'm glad that they did because I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they literally just were like, "Hey, is Tenille there?" And I answered the phone and talked to them for a little while, and yeah, it was weird.
Grand Ole Opry debut just happened.
Yes.
How'd that go?
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I still can't even believe that it happened. Like, it was just one of those moments where you're like, it feels like a pat on the back from the country music industry, just everybody here being like, you deserve to be on that stage and make your debut. So I think that's what meant so much to me. And I had a ton of family and friends, everybody in town for it. So it was just a really big deal, and it made me feel very special.
Yeah. So the Opry the first time is like a your eyes wide open thing.
Yeah.
Right? You'll like the second through the 9th or 10th time because you actually can take it in.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of people there in the first one. The first time that I played it, I was like, holy crap. And I do comedy and a little bit of music, right? So it's definitely not the same. Like, you're a legitimate artist. I'm a joke. So it's just so many people like, oh my goodness, that it's really hard to take it in.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be what a wedding is like even. Never been married, so I don't know.
It's like the buildup is like so crazy, and then it's like over in a second, and you're like, oh,
It is quick.
okay.
But I will say, I don't know if you're playing it again anytime soon, but you actually enjoy the Opry experience from now on more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool
because
to
you
know.
look and for me, I struggle with even seeing anyone in the audience because I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm
Mhm.
up here playing, I'm in the circle. And so I really didn't see the people out there. From now, I walk out there, it goes much slower.
Yeah. That's good.
You can take it in, you can actually breathe and talk in between segments if you want to.
Mhm.
There's not the pressure of all your family being there.
Yeah.
Good pressure,
Mhm.
but there's still a lot of pressure there with everybody watching.
Yeah. It
So-
definitely was like a little bit of pressure, but I tried to. When I walked out there, I was like, for whatever reason, I wanted to like watch my foot step into the circle. So I made sure to just like take a moment to like see that moment.
That's cool. Are you that kind of person? Are you a take a moment person?
Yeah, I try to be, especially with those like really big moments. Otherwise, it just gets away from me sometimes.
All right, top 3 big moments in your life. Okay, let's walk backward
Oh,
on this. I know.
okay.
I'm giving you a second on this one. You're 25 years old.
Yeah.
Top 3 big moments of your life at number 3.
At number 3,
At number 3. In America, we go backward to 1. It's like a big
Okay.
build-up. Yeah.
can I still use the Opry?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing. Number 3.
Number 3, performing on The Bachelor.
Okay, which 1 or 2?
2,
the
because
second time.
it was just bigger and more people heard my
Okay,
music.
I like
yeah.
that. So that's your number 3 life moment.
Yep.
Number 2 life moment.
Performing the Canadian national anthem at the NBA Finals.
Recently.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It was a big one. It was something that literally when I started working with my manager, I was like, the one thing I do not want to do is sing any anthems. I am terrified. And that was when I got the call for that, obviously I was excited and wanted to take that opportunity and take that risk. But it was the most terrifying moment of my entire life so far.
What did you sing with? A band or
Totally by
a
myself.
cappella?
Yeah.
So was there any sort of echo back on top of you?
Yes.
Because that sucks.
That was tough. There was a lot of people and just you're kind of trying to keep my note in my head walking out to the spot where I'm supposed to sing. I was so worried about that. And then they have all these rules about like you have to take a hard left to like walk off so that you don't get hit by the flag that's coming out for the American anthem. And there were just so many things to think about. But it was fun.
So explain how, we're going to get to number 1 in a second, but explain how you're holding your note. All this stuff's happening around you. What are you
Mhm.
doing inside your head?
If you watch back any of the clips, I'm literally just like singing it in my head constantly.
But you got it.
Yeah.
And the thing, well, I don't know about the Canadian anthem, but the American anthem, if you start a little higher than you're supposed to, you're done.
Oh yeah.
What's the Canadian anthem like?
It's not difficult to sing. Like the range isn't as crazy as the American anthem, but I think for me, I overthink anthems so much. I'll go over the lyrics in my head 100 times.
There's almost a no win.
No.
Now, there is a win because it's number 2 on your list.
Yeah.
So that's a win.
Mhm.
However, in the grand scheme of doing the anthem, if you go out and you nail the anthem, you were supposed to nail the anthem, life just moves on.
Yeah.
If you screw up the anthem,
Mhm.
any anthem, life does not move on.
No.
People get pissed.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of pressure where if you nail it, you were supposed to. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you, go about your day. But if you don't, holy crap.
I mean, I actually ended up getting a lot of criticism.
Yeah. Why?
Because I changed it up a little bit.
Oh, you took it, you made it your own? It's
A
not American Idol,
tiny
Tenille.
bit.
Ooh.
But okay, like the anthem is like, "Oh Canada," and I went, "Oh Canada."
Probably wouldn't have done that if it were me. I would have just got Robert Goulet and watched him and done that.
Yeah, okay, well,
Oh, Canada. Is that
but that's not me. So I went out there and I
Ooh.
did it the way that I
Ooh.
do
Do
it.
you know who Robert Goulet is?
No.
I think he's Canadian. Do you know who he is?
I do know who he is.
Yeah. I saw him sing the Canadian national anthem at WrestleMania once, and for some reason he's stuck in my head. Will you see if Robert Goulet is Canadian? Because if he's not, I feel like a doofus. Okay, good for you. That's at number 2.
Yeah.
Singing the Canadian national anthem at the NBA Finals.
Mhm.
And who was the game? What was the game?
It was Toronto and
Oh, it was the last one, Golden State.
yeah, it wasn't the last, but they were
Yes,
against
it was
each
in the
other.
finals, but it
Yes.
wasn't the last
Right,
game.
okay, yeah, I don't know sports, but yes, that's what happened.
Okay, so but who won the game? Don't say Golden State, because if you do, this may be the curse of Tenille. You don't know.
I don't
We'll
remember.
go with Toronto then.
Okay.
And Kawhi had a big game. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mike Robert Goulet.
He is of Canadian descent.
Boom. From where?
Well, he was born in the U.S.
Oh, crap.
But ancestry is in Canadian.
Okay. In
Canada. It says Canadian.
Who's the most famous person to you growing up in Canada?
The most famous person to me,
Yeah.
Shania Twain.
Okay. Because she was from Canada and also massive and probably the most
Yeah.
famous to everybody, period, in North America.
Yes.
Okay. So Shania Twain. Who? Anybody else? Because I'm on the radio in Saskatchewan. Is that a town or a province?
That's a province.
Okay.
Mhm.
So dumb. Forgive me, because here's what happened. I love the people in Canada. Can't get enough of them. That being said, I was thrown into so many places at once
Yeah.
that they're like, you're in all the, and I'm trying to learn as fast as I can. I'm a big Ottawa Senators fan,
Mm-hmm.
although they suck. So I wear the hat proudly, but they may be the worst run hockey organization in the
Oh.
NHL. Are you a hockey fan?
A little bit.
Okay, who's your team?
Well, I hop on the bandwagon of wherever I am. So Preds.
Oh. You don't have like a Canadian team?
I don't.
You didn't? Did your dad like watch a team?
I mean, like we grew up as a family. My brother played, so I mean, the most hockey I watched was him playing. I
Mhm.
also played for a year. Just saying. But yeah.
So
hockey
you
was just a
played
big thing.
hockey, yet you don't have like a team that you watch.
No.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you're a Preds fan.
Yeah. I like to actually go to games. Watching sports on TV just does nothing for me.
And you played hockey. You also a dancer,
Yeah.
and you answer that confidently. So you're a good dancer.
I mean, I was competitive,
Mhm.
especially with like tap dancing. That was kind of my thing. But my little sister is amazing, and so once I decided that I wasn't going to be a dancer, she like ran with it. She loves dancing, and she still does that to this day.
How many years did you dance?
From the time I was like 3 to 18.
Oh, a long time.
Yeah.
Did you ever win any championships?
I went to competitions all around, like the provinces bordering mine and a few in the States.
Did you ever win any trophies?
Yeah.
Oh,
I won some stuff.
crap. Because I won a trophy. I dance, and I like to brag about it a little bit. I danced for 4 months
Oh,
and won.
well, yeah, there you go.
That's right. And then
That's a pretty big trophy.
That's
to win.
right. That's right. So
That's a good
so
one.
probably imagine if I danced for 15 years, all the trophies I would have.
Yeah,
Dang, that was cool.
exactly.
Okay, so you're in Canada. You moved to the States. You've been here for, as of today, like 4 years.
Yeah.
That's it, huh?
hmm
Wow, you're just a baby in
Yeah.
the Nashville terms, and you have a record deal, and you got music that's good for you.
Thank you.
Kind of popping a little bit.
Well, I just decided, I was like, if I'm gonna be away from everybody, because like I moved here not knowing anybody. My entire family's back in Canada. I was like, if I'm gonna move here, I'm gonna put my head down and make sure that this time is worth it, and my time away from my family, my grandparents, everything. I needed to make it feel like it was worthwhile.
Is it frustrating to not find a keychain with your name on it?
Yes.
Because I don't know. I never met a Tenille until I met
Mhm.
the other one.
Yep.
And I was like, huh. And then and I was like, there's another. So Tenille Towns is a friend, and she opened for me for a lot of my comedy tour last year. And then I was like, they were like Tenille Arts, and I was like, no, you're saying it wrong. It said Towns,
Oh.
not Arts. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, there's another Tenille. And I was like, well, how about that? That's kind of weird. What is she? Where's she from? They're like, she's from Canada too.
Mhm.
Same age. That's confusing.
Yeah.
Do
Isn't
you-
that crazy?
Did you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
hmm From like the
Like a
Canadian
Tenille
stuff.
chat room where you guys, everybody named Tenille would get in and talk with each other.
Actually, the first time I met her, she had one of her good friends with her, and her name was also Tenille.
So what's happening? Is there something in Canada where they name him after
I don't know.
Captain and Tenille?
Yeah.
Big thing. Mike, is Tenille Canadian from Captain and Tenille?
I don't know.
Will you look that up?
I know that she was born in like Montgomery, Alabama, or something.
Oh,
Tony Tenille.
So you know this already?
Because I thought that was weird because I grew up on Montgomery Crescent, and she was from Montgomery, Alabama.
Does that have anything to do with your name?
Well, my parents named me after that.
After Captain and Tenille?
Yeah, they loved the name, but they also gave me 2 middle names just in case.
Mm.
So
Captain and Tenille would sing songs like Muskrat Love.
yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know how I know that. Did Kevin hit us back on the text? See if her dad
Yeah,
hit
not
you back.
No.
Canadian.
Not yet. Apparently they're not Canadian.
Dad, you're gonna lose the
That's
chance
all right.
to chat.
Okay, so we do this sometimes. Your Mount Rushmore of artists. Okay?
Oh.
You get 4, however I allow 5, because everyone always goes, let me add one more. I'm going to give you 5, but you can't go, let me add one more. We're already doing
Okay.
that plus 1
We're
with
doing
the 5.
5.
So, okay, 5 artists on your Mount Rushmore. Who is your first artist?
Are they any? It
doesn't matter.
Any genre?
It can be any
Okay.
genre.
First artist. Like this is no order.
Well, okay, you don't have to rank them.
Okay.
but you can if you want. Are you saying right now no order?
No order.
No order.
Because
Okay.
they'll probably come to me as we do this. Well, I grew up listening to Paul Simon.
Okay.
So I'm a huge fan of his songwriting and everything. So
Graceland?
him, yeah.
The whole record?
The whole record.
Amazing.
I love it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh man, this is already hard, and I'm only one person in. Shania Twain has to
Okay.
be on there. I know I'm gonna do this and forget somebody and be really sad. Keith Urban, Kelly Clarkson.
And you got one here that counts. It's not a bonus. You get 5.
Okay.
So far, while you're thinking, we have Paul Simon, Shania Twain, Keith Urban, Kelly Clarkson.
Oh my gosh. Can I call a friend? I don't know. That's a hard one. There's so many good artists. Like I feel like
But if you pick nobody, then you get nothing.
yeah.
You're
okay.
not bound to this contractually. You know,
Yeah.
if you leave this
No,
house and decide you
can
want to
just
change
see
your mind,
me overthinking everything right now. I'm like, wait, do I? Yeah, okay.
pull up a playlist on your phone.
Okay.
What do you? Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you have. Pull it up,
Okay.
and we will. Let's look at the last song.
Casey Musgraves.
Great,
Yes.
love it. Okay,
Love
no. Let's look at the playlist. Though.
Oh,
wanna
well, I don't really have playlists.
You don't have like liked songs, like the last songs that you
No.
liked.
I don't do that.
Let me see your playlist here.
Like I'm kind of all over the place.
Well, you should be musically, but how do you
Yeah.
find stuff? You
I
just
mean,
chase albums.
I just like I look up the album. Like this is my album.
Do you have a last songs you played?
N-
Yours. Your
Yeah,
song.
I was warming up in the car on the way here.
Your song.
You know,
Which
just
is
in
interesting.
case.
You brought a guitar.
Well, yeah.
We've never had anyone bring a guitar.
Well, you never
do
know when you're gonna need to break out into
That-
song.
That's true. So your last song is "I Hate This." Do you
Yeah.
have a list of stuff you played recently?
I don't know how to get
Library.
to that. See,
I got you.
technology's hard for me.
Oh, check it out. A lot of Chumbawamba. You a big fan?
What?
No, I'm just kidding. Carrie Underwood,
Yeah.
Casey Musgraves. Who's Paul Sykes?
He's a friend of mine. He used to play guitar for me.
Shout out Paul Sykes.
Yep.
I'm really going through your stuff. This is some
Go
stuff
for it.
here. You have a lot of some artists named Tenille Arts. A
Yeah.
lot.
I
Wow.
just put 'em
Are you
all
in the
there.
fan club? Who's Twin Kennedy?
They're also friends of mine.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're getting a lot of shout outs here. And that's all you have in all your songs.
Yeah.
You listen to yourself and your friends. I like that.
Well, I gotta download my own stuff and make sure that like nothing's wrong with it. You know, when it goes out there.
All right. Well, why don't we let's I'm not gonna ask you to like really sing or anything, but let's grab this guitar, Mike. Let's see what's happening over here. If we can't get Kevin to call us back,
Yeah.
Kevin's big time in us right now. Do you know? Let's play a game while he's doing that.
Okay.
Canadian or not Canadian? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a celeb. You tell me if they're Canadian or not.
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Not
Okay, correct. Ryan Reynolds.
Canadian.
Right. Haley Bieber.
Not.
Correct. James Franco.
Not
Ryan Gosling.
Canadian.
Yeah. Anne Hathaway.
Not.
Not. Does the Canadian stuff dominate any interview you ever do? Are they always tell me about Canada?
A little bit, but yeah.
What about the double Tenilles? Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
They would.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think if it doesn't work, you two could form a group
Maybe.
and just be called Tenille 2?
Tenille squared.
Look at this. What kind of guitar we have here?
This is a PRS acoustic.
So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna play very light. We've never done this before, so let's see what it sounds
Okay.
like.
Well, let me make sure.
I like to go
my
no
friend's in
tuning.
tune. Yeah.
We like to go out of tune. It's kind of our style here on the show.
Okay.
Mike, you want to see how this sounds?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
You want her to back away from the mic just a little bit?
Maybe just a little bit.
Okay.
It's the opposite of what we just did. Where we had you move closer,
Yeah.
and now we're gonna have you move back just a little bit.
Mhm.
All right. So, play me a little bit of "I Hate This"
Okay.
because that's the one you had up on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Okay.
then we're gonna do the Canadian national anthem. I'm just kidding. We're
No.
not, we're not
I
ready.
was like, no, maybe not.
All right. For the first time on this podcast, someone's gonna play. We'll do a little bit of "I Hate This." Go ahead.
Okay. You want me to just do like verse chorus?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate this, here I am running into you, trying not to touch. I hate this, acting like it's not killing me when it does. And that watch I gave you still looks good on your wrist. Don't you think it's time we end this little experiment?
'Cause I know we said we'd just be friends. I can't lie and I can't pretend, boy, I tried it. Bottom line is I still love you and I hate this.
Dang, that's good.
Thank you.
Look at that. You're good.
Thank you.
Well, look at okay. Well, we can put the Mike. We put the guitar down. That's
Okay.
good. How'd it sound? Do we know if
It
it's
sounds pretty good.
popped or anything?
No,
Do
we're
you want-
good.
Okay. Well, if you have it, do you want to do a little bit of your new song then?
Sure.
I mean, if that's the new single, let's
Yeah.
hear "Somebody Like That."
Okay.
All right.
I've seen pickup lines and dive bar strangers slow dance. I've seen happy hour 2-for-1s turn to one night stands. I've seen neon rebounds, late night drunk dives. I've seen that Cinderella fairy tale go up in cigarette smoke. I've seen two hearts bet it all and still end up broke. The real thing won't be easy. Yeah, it might take a while. But I want that all in falling. Keep the fire burning like the first time. Feeling no matter what. If I'm gonna love somebody like that. Kind of heart, open arms, says forever and will never ever take it back. If I'm gonna love somebody like that.
Holy crap, man! It's really good. Strong. You're like 2 foot tall with a humongous voice.
Thank you.
Mike will take your guitar from you. He'll be sure to drop it. There it is. Let's check one more time for Kevin. I'd love to have had him on the show.
Kevin.
Did he
Yeah.
respond to your text?
No.
He probably likes your brother and sister better, huh? I bet if they texted, he probably would have been like.
No. He literally just never has his phone on him.
So
He's-
what's
yeah.
the story with your brothers and sisters? You have one. You have 2 total, one each.
I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you are in the mix. What level?
Second youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your oldest is
Brittany.
okay. And what's Brittany do? Music at all?
It's not really. No. Her husband was in the military in Canada. They moved around a lot, and now they're back in Saskatchewan, starting their own company. So they're working on stuff there. It's a drone company.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My co-host husband has a drone company. He was in
cool.
the military too,
Yeah.
and now they apparently all fly drones and look in our windows, and
Exactly.
who knows what they're
They
doing.
know everything about our lives.
And then your brother is older than you.
Yep.
And what does he do?
He went to school for finance stuff, but he's also been working at the farm as well. So we're all just kind of all over the place doing our own thing.
And your youngest sister is a hockey playing dancer.
Yeah.
Is that true?
But she just dances now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they very proud of you?
Yeah.
Are they like keeping up? Are they super excited?
Yeah, they keep up, and my little sister and I talk like really often. But so since we're both kind of very, I guess we like hair and makeup and photos and doing all of the fun stuff. My older 2 siblings felt like they were not in the group or whatever of us performing sisters, so they created their own Instagram called like the other 2 siblings or something, and they recreate our photos on the farm. It is hilarious. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So they're all supportive, and yeah.
So parents, 4 kids.
Yep.
Any animals growing up?
Yeah, we had a dog.
A dog?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. No cows.
No cows.
What kind of animals are on farms in Canada?
We had just like a lot of stray cats, like farm cats,
Lot of
just running
cats.
around. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Anything for Tenille? We're about to wrap this up.
I'm just amazed how good that was. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thanks.
What's cool is we get to hear everybody sing. I mean,
Yeah.
hear about it on the show or out. That's really good.
Thank you.
I don't know that I was not expecting it to be, but it was really good.
Thank you.
And we've never done that before. That's
Yeah.
kind of
You kind of brought your guitar on a ball or move. It's like I just have my guitar.
Hey.
If you need it, let me. It's cool. I like that. So I work on American Idol and I mentor a lot of these kids. A lot of the kids need more of the music mentorship. A lot of the older people kind of need the
Mhm.
kind of the life, how to go through a reality show. But I tell them, and I think you could probably speak on this too. If someone asks you to play, just freaking play.
Yeah.
That's it. If someone's like, "Hey, do you play?" Don't take a second to be like, "Well, I'm not really right now." let me think it. Go.
Yeah.
Like, play your freaking song.
Mm-hmm.
Always, because you never know who's listening, that person's not going to get you a record deal, but they may hear you and go, oh, this person,
Yeah.
you should hear that.
That's the thing. You never know when you're going to be discovered. And I think the more you play, the more you get out there, the more chances there are. You can't just sit in your bedroom and sing songs all the time and think that you're going to get somewhere.
Here's my neighbor overheard me singing in my backyard and recommended me to get in vocal training.
Yeah.
Is that familiar at all?
Yes.
Because it didn't happen to me.
No,
that was you.
It happened to me.
So you're singing and just doing, how old are you?
Oh my gosh, I was probably like 7.
And your neighbor hears something in your voice.
Yeah.
And says how you should go and learn to sing the real way.
Yeah, she came over, like, because I was always just like belting out Shania Twain songs or like whatever I was listening to or making songs up, belting them out in my backyard. And my neighbor just came over and she's told my mom, she's like, I think she has a great voice. I think you should try to, take her somewhere, see if she can do something with it. And of course, I loved that. My first voice lesson, I was so pumped and just so excited that that's what made it feel real to me. At 8 years old, 7 or 8, whatever it was, I was like, that's going to be my career. I'm going to do this.
Where did you start singing as a kid publicly?
I did like a couple little like local festivals and things like that. But also because I was doing classically trained music, I also performed in like the music festivals and stuff.
And you would sing what kind of song as a classically trained performer?
There was like a book that
Okay,
you pick songs out of.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have another record coming out next year?
Yeah.
Yeah? We
Mhm.
know when?
It'll be early 2020.
And people listen to these things forever, so it may already be out when this thing is, you may be hearing
Yeah.
the Tenille Arts podcast. Because we've done a lot of these, Mike, where people have, at early stages, they've kind of blown
Yeah.
up. And you can go back and hear them. Because this is episode 203. So early on, we had some artists on in the early stages too, and they were like, I don't know, we're just trying to get something going. And you go back now and you're like, holy crap, like now they're big deal. So hopefully this is what happens here.
Yeah.
Okay, well listen, I think we've said everything that we need to say. You feel like you learned a little bit about you?
Yeah.
Kevin will not call us back. If you're listening right now, Kevin, we tried. Before we wrap it
Yeah.
up, we're gonna give it one more look. Not yet. I'm gonna ask you a few random questions here, and then we'll call this a day. What's the last concert you bought tickets for?
I bought tickets for Casey Musgraves and I didn't get to go.
Which show?
It was the one at the Ryman, the Golden Hour tour.
I went.
Or Oh, What a World. You did?
I did. Yeah.
I'm really jealous.
Yeah, you should be. It's great.
Yeah.
Why did you not get to go?
I had a show come up.
Great reason to
Yeah.
not go.
Exactly.
How about that? Good. Okay, so question number 2. What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
In theaters. I think it was that last movie of the Avengers or whatever that
Mike?
was.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Endgame.
Endgame. It was good, huh? It's
Uh,
long.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I didn't watch any of the other ones.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that sucks. Because there were like 3 or I saw most of them,
Yeah.
but there were only 3 or 4 that I didn't see, and I felt a little out of it at times. I can only imagine what you felt. No, it's knowing.
I was very out of it. Well, actually, I think I saw the Captain Marvel one, the girl.
Mhm.
I saw that one before, but also at the end of that, I did not know that this was like a big thing that was going to be coming to an end, and everybody was sitting in the theater still like waiting to see whatever they show at the end of those movies. I had no clue. I was completely in the dark that this was a whole series of things.
And that's the last movie you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on the road a lot now?
Yeah.
Every weekend?
Mhm.
You going out this weekend?
I am. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Where do you go?
I'm going to Deadwood, South Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah.
You driving the Pontiac?
Oh no.
Or what, no, what is it? It's a
Yeah, it's a
right?
Pontiac, but I don't even think it would make it there.
Yeah. One final question. What is your hobby and why do you do it?
My hobby.
It cannot be something you make money at.
Okay.
So
yeah.
don't say music. What is your hobby and why do you do it?
Oh man. It's a lot of my things have to do with music, but like this one thing that I started doing is like painting on the back of jean jackets. So that's kind of like a hobby thing that has become something that I
I
love.
think that's a wonderful answer.
Okay.
You're in a jacket now that is very painty, but you didn't paint this one.
No.
Let's check one more time for Kevin. This is her dad.
Dad.
3,
No.
2, no answer.
It's okay. Dad, we'll talk to you.
We'll do a
another
whole
time.
podcast with him, Mike, at some point. Listen, Tenille, it's been I didn't know you. I don't think had we ever met?
No.
I don't feel like we'd ever
No.
met. It's been nice to get to know you.
Thank you. Nice to get to know you too.
I feel like big things are ahead.
Thank you.
Do you feel like I'm talking about for me, but do you feel like they're for you? Do you feel like they're also ahead for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited. I feel like this is a time where I've been through so much in the past year that I feel like my music has just changed so much, and I'm just excited for everything that's coming with it.
All right. Tenille Arts. Tenille Arts. I bet you people ask all the time if that's your real last name.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
Kevin Arts, one of my favorite wheat farmers in Canada.
Exactly.
So he's a guy. All right. Well, there we have it. Mike, I believe that'll wrap us up. Episode 203 with Tenille Arts. That's a solid interview. Maybe the longest interview you've ever done.
Yeah. It was long, but it was great.
Yeah.
Went by fast.
As you walk out the house, and I always wonder if it's weird because we normally do this earlier in the daytime, but because of my schedule's so weird this week, we actually did this one at night. It's fully dark right now.
Yeah.
I'd always think it'd be weird going to somebody's house for a show. Like someone's like, come to the house. We're gonna do a show. Like this got to be a little weird, right?
I mean, not really. I was like, I'm coming here with my manager. I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter to me.
Great. I would just think like going to somebody's house. Is this a trick? But you can rest assured it is not a trick.
Not a trick.
All right. But we didn't record any of this. This is just for me.
Okay.
We're just saving it. All right. Tenille Arts. Good to talk to you. Everybody check out her music. Her new single, as of right now, this recording, the song is called Somebody Like That. I really like the song I Hate This. I put it on the national female show a couple times. I'll tell you what, I'll do it again because I felt like the
Thank you.
performance was fantastic. And I think that's it. All right, Tenille Arts, thank you.
Thank you.